Hi everyone, my name is Parul. Welcome to my channel Parul English Lab. In this lesson, we will learn about conditional sentences. Conditional sentences are very important because they actually help you to improve your level of communication. So please watch this video till the end. You need to watch it carefully because conditional sentences can be very tricky sometimes, and I have seen people tend to get confused with these type of sentences. So please watch it carefully, try to understand it properly, and this is a part of advanced English, so it will actually take you towards advanced level. So if you really want to enhance your language, you need to understand them properly. So let's not waste any more time and get into it. What are conditional sentences? Conditional sentences are those that talk about a condition. These sentences have two parts. First part begins with if and talks about a situation, and second part talks about the result of that situation or consequences of that situation. For example, if you work hard, you will get good results. So this is a situation that starts with if. If you work hard, this is a situation. Then what is going to be the result of this situation? You will get good results. So this is the result. So generally we have a conditional sentence like this. This is the structure. Now there are four types of conditional sentences: zero conditional, first conditional, second conditional, and third conditional. I will explain these conditional sentences one by one to you, and so that you understand them in a better way. First is zero condition. Zero condition is used to talk about scientific facts, permanent truths, and general habits. So general things we talk about, and the result in zero condition is always true. So the structure is if, then present simple, then comma, present simple. Now let's go through some examples. If you heat ice, it melts. If you heat ice, then what happens? It melts. So this is a scientific truth. If, then subject plus first form of the verb. If, then present simple, and then comma, and then it melts, again present simple. If I am late for work, my boss gets angry. You can make a question also. If you get late for work, then what does happen? Then my boss gets angry. If we work hard, we get good results. If we work hard, then what happens? We get good results. And you can make a negative sentence also. If we don't work hard, we don't get good results. If you don't get enough sleep, you feel tired. If you get enough sleep, you don't feel tired. If we don't eat properly, we get hungry. If we eat properly, we don't get hungry. So this way you can make zero conditional sentences to talk about scientific truths, general habits, permanent truths, anything where the result is always true, a permanent situation. If this happens, then this happens. If it's raining, you go out, you get drenched, you get wet. So this is true. If in rain, you go out, you get wet. So this way you can use zero conditional. Now let's move on to the condition 1. Next is first conditional. First conditional is used to talk about a real possibility in present and its result in future. Possibility in present and result in future. So the structure is if plus present simple. This is the possibility in present, a present situation, and future simple will plus first form of the verb. This is the result. The result of this situation in future. Okay, now let's understand this with some examples. If I study hard, this is if plus simple present. First form of the verb, if I study hard. It's a present possible situation. Now let's see the result. What will happen? I will score good marks. If If I study hard, I will score good marks. So this is a possible situation in present, and here we have a result of this situation in future. He will cry if he doesn't watch this movie. It's a negative sentence. He will cry if he doesn't watch this movie. So here I have inverted the sentence. If you invert a sentence, then the meaning remains same. If I study hard, I will score good marks, or I will score good marks if I study hard. So the meaning is same. Now next is, if I need help, I will call you. If you need help, what will you do? I will call you. You can make a question also. What will you do if you need help? I will call you. He will take a break if he is tired. If I get home early, then what will happen? I will call you. So this is all about first conditional. Now let's move on to the second conditional. Next is second conditional. Second conditional is used to talk about impossible situations in the present and future, not in past. Here in second conditional, we do not talk about past at all. We only talk about present and future, and that too the situations that are hypothetical, that are completely imaginative, that have nothing to do with reality. That's impossible. Okay, so the structure is if past simple with if past simple. This is a situation, and then the result is subject plus would plus first form of the verb. Would is a modal verb, and we very well know that we use first form of the verb with a modal verb. So subject plus would plus first form of verb, and then the situation and the result. Now let's go through some examples. If I won the lottery, I would buy a luxurious house. If I won the lottery, subject plus second form of the verb, if and past simple. This is simple past. So this is the situation in present. Okay, if I won the lottery, then what would happen? The result would be I would buy a luxurious house. So this is completely a hypothetical situation, because I'm not going to win a lottery and I will not buy a house. So this is an impossible situation which is not possible at all. This is completely an imagination. But imagination in present and future, it has nothing to do with past. Next is, if I became the Prime Minister, I would give free food to everyone. So again, an impossible situation, because I can't be a Prime Minister, I know that, and I would not give free food to anyone. So this is impossible situation. If he had time, he would go on a vacation. So he doesn't have time at all. He is in a kind of a job wherein he cannot take out time. He is always busy, and he knows that he can never go on a vacation. But yes, you can imagine anything. Nobody can stop you to imagine. So you can imagine. So this is completely an imagination which is impossible, which is never going to happen. If he had time, he would go on a vacation. Sometimes we also say this, I'm very busy these days, and I know that for another 2-3 years I will not have time. But I can imagine, if I had time, I would go on a vacation. I would enjoy. I would sleep whole day. I wouldn't do anything. So that's all is imagination. It's an imagination, and it's a hypothetical situation. So in this condition, we use second conditional sentences. If I were you, I would call him. So this is a phrase, if I were you, if she were here. We use these phrases when we talk about in a situation. If I were you, if I were in your situation, if I were at your place, then what would happen? This is again a hypothetical situation, because I can't be you. Okay, so if I were you, and here I have used were, not was. Generally we use was. I was going, I was sleeping, I was dancing. But here in second conditional, in hypothetical situation, we use were with every subject. I, you, we always use were. He, she, it, were, not was. Okay, so if I were you, if I were at your place, if I were in your situation, I would call him. You had a big fight with him last month. So did you talk to him? No, no way. I'm not going to talk to him. If I were you, I would definitely call him. If I were you. So it's a kind of a suggestion also. You're giving a suggestion or an advice. If I were at your place, if I were you, I would call him. But yes, you have not. So this is an imaginary condition, imaginary situation. If it were not hot, or if it weren't hot, we would go shopping. So outside it's sunny, it's scorching heat, and you want to go shopping but you can't because of heat. But yes, you can imagine. Nobody can stop you to imagine anything. You can always imagine. So you are saying that if it weren't hot, we would go shopping. But now it's impossible because it's scorching outside. We cannot go out. It's impossible. But yes, we can imagine, and we are imagining about it. So it's an impossible situation. If her mom were here, she would help her. Her mom is not here. She has passed away. She can't be here. But it's an imagination. If she were here, again we are talking about present situation. In all the sentences we are talking about present and future. Okay, if her mom were here, she would help her. Today there is no one to help her, but I can say that if her mom were here, she would definitely help her daughter. So this way, when you imagine something, when there is a hypothetical situation, something which is impossible, an imagination in present and future, then you will use second conditional sentences. Please remember the rule: if past simple, subject plus would plus first form of the verb. So result is in this rule: subject plus would plus first form of the verb, and the situation is if and past simple. Now you can invert the sentences. These sentences can be inverted as well. Like, I would buy a luxurious house if I won the lottery. I would give free food to everyone if I became the Prime Minister. If he had time, he would go on a vacation, or he would go on a vacation if he had time. So these sentences can be inverted. The meaning will remain the same. Don't forget the rule. You just have to keep the rule in mind, and then you will never make any mistake with these sentences. Now next is third conditional. Let's move on to that. The last one is third condition. Third condition is used to talk about an impossible condition in past, not in present or future. Don't get confused between second condition and third condition. Second condition is all about present and future. We don't talk about past, and third condition is all about past. So we use this condition to imagine a situation in the past and imagine the results in the past. A situation in past, imagination, not the reality. A situation in past that did not happen and the result of that situation. So the structure is if past perfect, if then past perfect, subject plus had plus third form of the verb. This is past perfect. We have done that. If you have not watched my past perfect video, so it is there on my channel. In the playlist of tenses, you will find past perfect tense also. You can watch it. I'll mention the link in description box as well. Okay, then comma, and the result will be subject plus would have plus third form of the verb, that is past participle. So we know that whenever we use a modal verb to talk about past, we use have plus third form of the verb, like could have, would have, may have, might have, should have, plus third form of the verb. So this is the structure. If past perfect, and then result is in subject plus would have plus third form of the verb. If you had invited me, I would have come. This situation never happened in past, and if it had happened, then I would have come. So the situation is that it was your wedding and you forgot to invite one of your best friends. And now it's all done, and today you call up your friend and ask, why didn't you come? And he says, because you forgot to invite me. You didn't invite me. If you had invited me, I would have definitely come. So this situation, this didn't happen in past. If you had invited me, this is a situation in past which is now impossible because you cannot change your past. It has already happened. Nobody can change it, but yes, you can talk about it. You forgot to invite me, but if you had invited me, then the result would have been I would have come. I would have come for your wedding. Now next is, if we had reached the airport on time, we wouldn't have missed our flight. So right now I'm standing at the airport and I am regretting because I missed my flight, and I am saying right now that if we had reached the airport on time, we didn't reach airport on time. We were late. So now we are imagining about a past situation. Again, it is a regret. If we had reached the airport on time, then what would have happened? We wouldn't have missed our flight. So this is a situation. If this had happened in the past, if we had reached the airport on time, then the result would have been we wouldn't have missed our flight. It's a negative sentence. Wouldn't is would not. I wouldn't have been so worried if you had answered my call. Last night, I was trying to call you again and again, but you were not answering. You didn't pick up my phone and I got so worried. So if you had answered my call, if you had picked up my call, I wouldn't have been so worried. So this is a situation in past. If this had happened, then the result would have been this. Now here, this is an inverted sentence. I'm not starting it with if. So I wouldn't have been so worried if you had answered my call, or if you had answered my call, I wouldn't have been so worried. So just keep the rule in mind. This rule, you can't change the rule. Otherwise, the sentences can be inverted. Okay, here I want to tell you one more thing. In place of would have, we can use could have or might have also in this situation. How? Let me tell you. If I had studied harder, I would have cleared the interview. So here the situation is that I didn't study properly and that's why I failed the interview. Okay, so this is again we are talking about past situation. We cannot change it, but this is just an imagination that if this had been a situation in past, then I would have cleared the interview. Now here I am using would have because I am sure about it, that if I had studied harder, I would have definitely cleared the interview. I am 100% sure that I would have cleared the interview if this had been the situation. Now if you use might have, that means I might have cleared the interview. That means you are not sure about it. There are 50% chances that you might have cleared the interview, but there is no surety. There is no certainty. Okay, but yes, there was a possibility of this thing. I might have cleared the interview. And you can use could have as well. I could have cleared the interview. So again, for possibility, I could have cleared the interview, and could have can also be used for ability in past. So you had that ability that if you had studied harder, I could have cleared the interview. So it was possible you had that ability, but that didn't happen because you had not studied harder. So this way, this is the difference between could have, would have, or might have and would have. When you are 100% sure about the result, then use would have, and then when you are not certain about it, then use could have or might have. If you had called me on my birthday, I would have felt delighted. You didn't call me on my birthday, you forgot to wish me, you forgot to call me. So I was unhappy. But if you had called me on my birthday, again an imagination in past, if you had called me on my birthday, I would have felt delighted. If you had conveyed my message to her, she would have called me. last night I called you and I gave a message for my friend which you forgot to convey, and that's why my friend didn't call me. So if you had conveyed my message to her, to my friend, she would have called me. So here you can use could have or might have also when you're not sure about the result. She might have called me, she could have called me. But if you say she would have called me, that means you're sure about the result. If she had received the message, she would have called me for sure. So this way we can use third conditional when we talk about past and an imagination which is not possible because we cannot change our past. It's just an imagination, a hypothetical situation, but not in present or future, it's in past. So now I hope you have understood all four conditions. Zero condition is all about facts, truth. The result is always true. If you do this, then this happens. If you go out in rain, you get wet, you get drenched. So if this happens, then this happens. So this is all about the truth. Now second is first condition. In first condition, we talk about the present and its results in future. We imagine a situation in present and the result in future. For example, if you study hard, you will get good results in future. Now second condition, which is all about your imagination, about the situation that is impossible. For example, if I see a tiger in front of me, I would run, I would scream, but I don't know what am I going to do. That's completely a hypothetical situation. It's impossible because a tiger can't come here right now. It's impossible. But yes, you can imagine anything. But here I imagine about present and future. I'm not imagining about a past situation. So this is second condition when you think of something which is impossible. And now third condition is again you imagine something but about past. You imagine a past situation and then its results in past, not in present or future. So third condition is all about past, and when you are sure we can use would have, and when you are not sure, that time you can use could have or might have. Now please revise all the rules, try to make some sentences because this is a part of advanced English. I have seen people tend to mix these conditional sentences. You can mix, and I will make a separate video on mixed conditional sentences, but for that also we have to follow some rules. We cannot just mix all the conditional sentences. So don't do that right now. Just concentrate on conditional sentences. They are not difficult. They look difficult sometimes, but they are not. But for new English learners, they might be confusing sometimes. So if you practice, if you understand the rules, you just have to remember the rules and the situation. When it is fact, then zero condition. When it is present and future situation, then first condition. When it is imagination or hypothetical situation in present and future, then it's second condition. And when a hypothetical situation or imagination in past, then that's the third conditional. Just remember these rules and the structure, and trust me, it will be very easy for you. So practice, practice and practice. So that's all for this video. Stay tuned, take care, keep learning. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching my videos. If you find them helpful, please like and share with your friends. Feel free to leave comments. Do subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon to receive a notification for the new videos. Thank you, take care and have a great day.